Hello friends, and welcome back to Digital Dreams. Today we are going to discover the African community of Sri Lanka, also known as the Kaffirs. This is a community that has fascinated me since I first heard about it, and I hope it will fascinate you, too. So grab your bags, let us embark on an extraordinary journey back in time to uncover the mysteries of the African community of Sri Lanka. We begin our journey on the tropical island of Sri Lanka, located in the Indian Ocean. The island is known for its stunning beaches, ancient ruins, and above all, its hospitable people. But what makes Sri Lanka truly special is its rich tapestry of cultures, religions, and ethnicities. Among the most intriguing of these is the African community, a small yet resilient group of people whose ancestors arrived on the island centuries ago and whose descendants still live there today. To understand how the African community came to be, we must travel back in time to the 16th century. During this era, European powers such as the Portuguese, Dutch and British were eager to establish trading posts around the world. Sri Lanka, with its strategic location along important trade routes, became a coveted prize. And so it was that in 1505, the Portuguese established their first settlement on the island. As the Portuguese began exploring and conquering new lands, they sought to expand their empire, and in doing so, they transported people from various parts of the world, including Africa. These men and women were brought to Sri Lanka not only as traders, but also as soldiers and laborers. The Portuguese enlisted the services of African soldiers due to their reputation for bravery and strength in battle, and they quickly became an integral part of the Portuguese military forces in Sri Lanka. But life in colonial Sri Lanka was not easy. The Africans faced many challenges, including discrimination, slavery, and a constant struggle for freedom. Despite these hardships, they persevered and eventually earned their freedom. However, they remained an isolated community, cut off from the rest of Sri Lankan society. Over time, they developed their own unique culture, blending elements of African, Portuguese, and Sinhala traditions. In the 17th century, the Dutch took control of Sri Lanka from the Portuguese. They continued the practice of bringing Africans to the island, primarily as soldiers and domestic servants. The Africans were employed in the Dutch military and tasked with defending the island from outside invaders. Additionally, they were hired as servants in wealthy Dutch households. In the 18th century, the British East India Company also became involved in the slave trade and transported Africans to Sri Lanka to work on plantations. However, slavery was finally abolished in 1844, and the Africans were granted their freedom. Despite their freedom, the Africans faced continued discrimination and were often relegated to menial jobs. They were not allowed to own land and were forced to live in segregated communities. But despite these hardships, they managed to maintain their cultural traditions and identity. Today, the African community is a small but vibrant part of Sri Lankan society. They are mainly concentrated in the Puttalam district, where their descendants have lived for generations. In fact, most Sri Lankans know them simply as the Kaffirs. This name comes from the Dutch word Kaffir, which is a general term for non-white people that was used during the colonial period. However, another theory suggests that the name Kaffir actually originated from the Arabic word kafir, meaning infidel. This was a term used by Muslims in East Africa to refer to non-Muslim foreigners. Hence, when Arabs encountered Europeans in East Africa, they may have referred to them as Kaffirs. And when the Europeans colonized Sri Lanka and brought those Arabs with them, the term kafir became associated with them as well. It is important to note that the term kafir is considered derogatory and offensive when used towards black people. So while it is a common name for the African community in Sri Lanka, it should be used with sensitivity and respect. According to the available historical records and oral accounts, there were three distinct groups of Africans who settled in Sri Lanka. The first group consisted of Moors who came from Tanzania, specifically from the Swahili coast. These Moors were Muslims and they arrived in Sri Lanka in the 15th century during the rule of the Portuguese. However, it is believed that some of them might have come earlier as part of Arab trading expeditions. The second group comprised Christians who hailed from Mozambique. These Africans were brought to Sri Lanka by the Portuguese primarily as slaves and laborers during the 16th and 17th centuries. Finally, the third group was also Christian, and they were Mozambicans who were brought to Sri Lanka by the Dutch in the 17th century to serve as soldiers in their military. Today, the African community in Sri Lanka is mostly concentrated in the Puttalam district in the northwestern province. Specifically, there are 5 main areas where they reside, including Gala, Palavia, Puttalam Town, Maravilla, and Mana. These communities are the result of centuries of cultural exchange and intermarriage between the Africans and the indigenous Sri Lankan population. One of the most significant aspects of the African community is their unique cuisine. African cuisine in Sri Lanka is a testament to the country's rich cultural diversity. While there is no single African dish that can be identified as distinctly Lankan, the cuisine of the African community reflects the fusion of flavors from both Africa and Sri Lanka. Traditional African dishes like jollof rice and fufu are often prepared with local ingredients, creating a unique culinary experience. Moreover, the African community has also contributed to the popular Sri Lankan dish known as biryani, which is a flavorful rice dish cooked with meat, spices, and herbs. Today, the African community is a vital part of Sri Lankan society, contributing to the country's cultural fabric. Their presence adds a unique dimension to the nation's heritage, and their stories deserve to be shared and celebrated. The African community in Sri Lanka has preserved much of its culture and traditions, passing them down through generations. One of the most notable aspects of their culture is their music, which is a blend of African, Portuguese, and Sri Lankan influences. The drumming style known as Baila is particularly popular and is often played at weddings and festivals. Baila music features fast tempos, intricate rhythms, and lively melodies that reflect the community's cultural heritage. Moreover, traditional dances performed by the African community are a mesmerizing display of energy and grace. These dances often tell stories of their history and culture, and they continue to be an integral part of social gatherings and celebrations. Furthermore, the African community places great importance on storytelling as a way to preserve their history and cultural values. Elders play a crucial role in passing down traditional tales and folklore to younger generations, ensuring that their cultural heritage continues to thrive. Despite the challenges they have faced, the African community has shown remarkable resilience and adaptability. They have integrated into Sri Lankan society while maintaining their cultural identity. Their contributions to Sri Lankan society are significant, and they continue to be an integral part of the nation's cultural fabric. The African community in Sri Lanka is a testament to the power of cultural exchange and the resilience of African people. From their arrival on the island until today, they have faced many challenges, yet they have managed to preserve their traditions and make significant contributions to Sri Lankan society. Their story is a reminder of the shared history between Africa and Sri Lanka and the importance of embracing cultural diversity. As we continue to explore the world, it is essential to learn from and celebrate the unique experiences of different communities. The African community in Sri Lanka is a vibrant and resilient community that has made significant contributions to Sri Lankan society. Their cultural richness and resilience are an inspiration to us all. As we move forward, let us continue to learn from and celebrate the diverse communities that make up our world. Thank you for joining us on this journey to discover the African community of Sri Lanka. We hope you have enjoyed learning about their history, culture, and contributions to Sri Lankan society. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family and subscribe for more informative content. Let us know in the comments below what you found most fascinating about the African community. Your feedback is important to us and helps us create more engaging videos for you. Stay tuned for our next video where we will be exploring another fascinating aspect of Sri Lankan culture. Until then, keep learning, stay curious, and embrace the beauty of diversity in our world.